1. Hook, are you choosing between AWS Lambda and EC2? Let's uncover which one really saves you money. You'll learn how to make the best choice for your project in just a few minutes. Startups and new engineers often struggle with this decision. Understanding the core differences and cost implications is crucial for your success. 3. The simple explanation. Let's break this down. AWS EC2 is a virtual server in the cloud. You pay for the server hours you use, no matter how much traffic your application gets. This means if your server is running 24/7, you're paying constantly, even if the server is idle. AWS Lambda, on the other hand, is serverless. You only pay for the compute time you use. For example, if your function runs for 100 milliseconds, you're only billed for that time. This is great for applications with unpredictable traffic. Here's a quick comparison of their pricing models. EC2 starts around $0.0116 per hour for a T2.micro instance. Lambda, first 1 million requests are free. After that, you pay 20 cents per 1 million requests. In simple terms, Lambda can be cheaper for low traffic situations. EC2 might be more cost-effective for always-on applications. 4. Real-world example. Let's look at a real-world scenario. Imagine a startup called Quick Shop, which developed an online store. In their first month, they anticipated 10,000 visitors, with each visit generating one API request. They considered using both EC2 and Lambda. Using EC2, they chose a T2.micro instance, costing about $0.0116 per hour. Running continuously for 30 days, their EC2 cost would be roughly $8.35. However, they also had to consider data transfer costs and potential scaling if traffic increased. Using Lambda, they estimated that each request would take about 200 milliseconds. For 10,000 requests, that's a total of 2,000 seconds, or about 0.56 hours. With the first million requests free, their total cost would be $0. In this case, QuickShop saved over $8 by using Lambda. However, as traffic grew, they had to reevaluate their approach. 5. What to do instead. Here's how to decide between Lambda and EC2. Step 1. Assess your workload. Predictable traffic. If you have a steady flow, like a website that sees constant traffic, consider EC2. You may need to scale, so think about instance types. Start with a T2.micro for low traffic. Unpredictable traffic. If you expect traffic spikes, like a seasonal sale, Lambda might be the better choice. Step 2. Estimate costs. Use the AWS pricing calculator. Input your expected usage for both services. For EC2, calculate the total hours times the instance cost. For Lambda, estimate the number of requests and the execution time. Step 3. Monitor and adjust. Use AWS CloudWatch to track your usage. Look for patterns. If you notice consistent high traffic on EC2, consider switching to a load-balanced architecture. For Lambda, keep an eye on the duration of your functions. Step 4. Optimize. Optimize your EC2 instances by choosing the right size and using auto-scaling. For Lambda, minimize execution time by optimizing code and reducing dependencies. Step 5. Evaluate periodically. Revisit your choice every few months. Business needs change, and so do costs. 6. Common mistakes. Let's take a look at 5 common mistakes when choosing between Lambda and EC2. Mistake 1. Ignoring traffic patterns. Many startups don't analyze traffic. They choose EC2 for consistent costs. Avoid this by using tools like AWS CloudWatch to track usage. Mistake 2. Underestimating costs. Not calculating data transfer costs can inflate your budget. Always include these in your estimates. Mistake 3. Failing to optimize functions. Lambda functions can become costly if they take too long to execute. Regularly review and optimize your code. Mistake 4. Choosing the wrong EC2 instance type. Many choose a larger instance than needed. Start small, and scale as necessary. Use the AWS Instance Types Guide for recommendations. Mistake 5. Not setting up alerts. Without alerts, you might miss unexpected spikes in costs. Set up billing alarms in the AWS console to monitor spending. 7. Quick checklist: predictable versus unpredictable. Use the AWS pricing calculator for cost estimates. Monitor usage with AWS CloudWatch. Optimize your resource usage regularly. Review your choices every few months. 8. Summary plus CTASO, which costs less, Lambda or EC2? It depends on your application's needs. For unpredictable traffic and low usage, Lambda often wins. For constant workloads, EC2 can be more cost-effective. Want to dive deeper into cloud computing? Comment below with your thoughts and subscribe for more insights. Bonus practical tip: if you're unsure what to pick, start with the simplest option that ships today. Then measure for 7 days, latency, errors, deploy time, and cost.